Hey, ladies, welcome in. So, Dwayne and I are kicking off the summit. Yay, we're super excited to dive a little bit deeper as we kick off the Align and Thriving Summit, our second series, talking about your message is the movement. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into branding from the inside out and becoming the message before you actually market it, because that's super important, right? We know that sometimes it's like, okay, I want to go ahead and do this, but do we have the foundational stuff set up? So, that's what we're going to talk about today. We know that a lot of people think branding starts with logos or colors and content, but real branding actually starts with who you are when no one is watching. Okay. Remember that. Branding starts with who you are when no one is watching. Super important. Catch up the ladies also. If you're new here and you're not familiar with Dwayne and I, we'll tell you a little bit about more about what we do and who we are. Want to go ahead and kick.
Sirs. We are pivoting in business from TGD consultant to freelancing. And as we are pivoting in business, we are seeking alignment with a lot of the decisions that we're making as business owners. As we restructure our business and come together with our, we want to create an impact and share stories and help you create compelling different angles to showcase your message. So as we are here today, we want to make sure that you, again, like as Donna mentioned, grab your pen, your paper, your notepads, go ahead and take some notes because we want to make sure that you have a compelling message and that you are clear about who it is that you are and who it is that you're serving. And even if you've been in business for a while now and you may be pivoting or you may be growing in the area of um or you may be pivoting. This is going to be for you because as we are pivoting ourselves, we are taking down different strategies and notes around how to amplify our message and really utilize the impact that we've already have and created to showcase the new things that is in the horizon that God has planted in us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then to kind of kick it off, let's talk more about doing about like misaligned branding, right? And we can share firsthand experience with that, right?
Mm.
As we had to pivot in business so many times. That's what business is. Entrepreneurship is nothing but pivoting, right? But it's important to know when the pivot needs to be like a full rebrand or when the pivot might just needs to be you need to be like some, tune-ups, right? And for us, we realized our branding was misaligned when we had the target market of mompreneurs, right? We were like, you can do it all. You can show up, you can do the kids, you can do that, you can do that.
On
It's like,
deaf.
yeah, definitely tone deaf, but not. I think honestly, I think it was we were tone deaf, but not purposefully, right? Because we were doing it all. We were running the
Over
business
functioning.
over. There we go. We were over functioning, right? But that was normal to us. That was normalcy until we burnt out, right? Until we were like, wait, life was hitting us in different ways through grief, through so many different changes as women. We both became mothers of two, right? We had husbands who were in the nitty gritty of, their businesses as in the truck industry and doing logistics. That's very time consuming. That they were gone a lot, right? So it was just so many different things that we were starting to experience, and we were like, wait, no, moms cannot do it all. They shouldn't have to do it all. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
business. Yes, you can follow your dreams. Yes, you can utilize your gifts and your talents, but it has to be in alignment, right? And that was a season for us where we realized, okay, yeah, we were misaligned. We talk about it all the time. It was like the one likes to say tone deaf. Yeah, yeah, like we were tone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it goes back to even to just show like being inconsistent, like showing up inconsistently
Yeah.
or struggling to articulate the message. It's like, okay, so even after a while with us promoting to mompreneurs and investing so much money and time and energy, um, we got to a place of burnout, but then also when we tried to pivot and change our messaging before we made sure that we aligned with God, it was
Mm-hmm.
like we were struggling to figure out the messaging. It's like, who are we talking to? Because clearly,
Yeah.
like, moms, are you guys here? Hello. But then
Yeah.
also just feeling disconnected. the things that we were doing with everything that we were carrying, right? So in this season of alignment and striving for thriving, and and honestly, I feel like we're thriving now. Thriving can look differently for everybody, right? Thriving could look like you showing up every day and getting past the roadblocks that you're faced with. So we are doing that, right? But if your brand feels forced because it was built not from the inside, right? It wasn't built from the inside. It was built on maybe trends, what she is doing, what he is doing. But we want
Mhm.
to help you build your messaging from the inside. So, what does that look like, right? What does that look like? It
Mhm.
looks like allowing your audience to connect with you and relate with you through relatable moments, right? So, giving an example, I did a post, also doing content creation right now, right? And I did a post, I was looking a hot mess, okay? From overwhelmed to having a long day to humidity because it's getting hot outside in Georgia. We never know what the weather's going to be, but my hair always smells. Okay. And this day I was like, okay, we get into it. We're going to throw a t-shirt on. We're going to throw some sweatpants on and throw this hair up in a clip and get it done. Tell me why I'm outside for a good 20 minutes. I start pressing record on the video, not knowing that my hair is sticking up every which way. But guess what? It's okay because we are going for to get it done, not to just go ahead and be
Yeah.
perfect, right? And I think being able to show individuals and moms like, girl, we're not done up. We are like being realistic and authentic about how we show up some days. So me being able to post that relatable content shows other moms that dang, okay, she is relatable, right? She's just like me. And I'm not alone in this, right? It allows you to build trust. So posting content that doesn't just feel like you are keeping up with the trends is very important. Also, trying to sound like other people, let's not do it. Find your niche, find your lane, right? Find your niche, find your lane. No one is like you. You're a unique individual. Even me and Donna being twins, we are different, right? So remember that you are unique. God has planted a unique seed into you that is your divine purpose. Figure it out, right? Ask God what is the message that you want me to share with my audience. Um, that's something I'm doing on a daily, right? But also constantly rebranding over and over again is going to make your message feel misaligned. Okay, so over the past 2 years, we rebranded maybe twice.
Yeah.
But when we rebranded twice, we were in no, not both times, just the first time. When we rebranded the first time, it was in misalignment because we did not seek God's guidance on who he wanted
Yeah.
us to target and impact, right?
Mhm.
So making sure that you are not constantly rebranding month after month, every quarter, or whatever the case is, make sure that you're sticking to a consistent message.
Yeah, that's super important. And what Dwayne, I just to kind of piggyback off what you were saying, it goes into like identity before visibility, right? Because you mentioned like knowing who you are so you can actually show up. So it's like if you are in the season right now to where you're like, I don't know my identity, ask yourself these questions. Who are you becoming? Like this is a great journal prompt for you. If you can't ask yourself this and on this in this session and answer it, just write this down and come back to it later. Who are you becoming? Okay. And then ask yourself as well, like your brand should reflect your evolution, not just your current skill set. So write down what are my skill sets. Like have a column of your brand, what your brand shows, and then what your actual skill sets are, so that can help you differentiate. Remember that your brand is a mirror of your self concept as well. So whatever you believe it is, that's what it's going to mirror.
Yeah, and I want to piggyback off of that because you say your brand should reflect like your evolution, not just your current skill set. So one of the things that we've done over the past couple of years is did coaching, and we were in the mastermind. And one of the things that really stood out to me that I'm taking with me that I learned from this mastermind, I'm taking me with me going forward, is just like being able to really show up as the person you want to be. So the future,
Yeah.
your future self is excuse me, showing up as your future self. So your brand should reflect that, right? Should reflect the evolution. So even when we were in our mastermind, it was just like, okay, you want to be seven-figure business owners, eight-figure business owners? What does that look like? How,
Yeah.
like, what do you have to, like, what characteristics and qualities and skills do you have to show up with today, right? Embody
Mhm.
that, speak that you are that, and share the evolution, share that with your audience because it allows them to, for you to take them on a journey with you, right? To take your
Yeah.
audience on a journey with you of your evolution.
Yeah. So that embodiment over performance is super important because as we are women, right? I feel like women in general, but specifically melanated women, we were taught to overperform, right? Goes back history. So many things have um make that like a thing for us, like where we have to overdo, overperform. And it's like really just start living in your I would say you're feminine. And that's one of the things we learned in the
Mhm.
mastermind. It was like we were showing up very masculine, which is fine, right? We have masculine and feminine energy, but it's like who are you first? Identity, right? We are women. We are women mompreneurs. It's like, okay, well, it's important to know that rest is okay. We were like overperforming, right? Um, Doing all of the things. It's like you don't have to do all of the things. Let someone help you. Let's be in the space to receive, right? That way you can have the energy and the bandwidth to even perform at your best capabilities, right?
Mhm.
And then Dwayne, you mentioned something too when you said something like you recorded a video and your hair was sticking up at every way. Me and Dwayne used to always have these conversations when it came to creating content. She's like, "My hair is not done." I was like, "Girl, the people want to see the realness, the rawness." Like, so it's like alignment over aesthetics. Yes, you don't want to be getting on showing up online all the time looking crazy, but there's actually some people, some content that I've seen. Like this one girl I've seen and her husband, like their content, they do their content together. Her hair is always looking crazy, right? But that was like a part of her, like her messaging was like raw and authentic. And they do like comedy skits, but it's like her hair was always all over the place. But now she, incorporates things in
Mhm.
her content to where like she is looking aesthetically pleasing. But the videos of her hair sticking up over here, sticking up over there was getting, it was the things was going viral, right? So it's like know who you're showing up for, and that's with alignment. So make sure that it's over aesthetics because we know as women, especially if you're a mom, ain't no way your hair gonna be laid and dyed and fried every day. Now we're not saying don't take care of yourself, right? Because that's super important as well. But we're saying that you don't have to create this facade of who you are, how your life is just for the internet. Because a lot of the stuff that you see, where if you think someone's showing up every day looking immaculate, it's not reality. It's just not. So make sure you are keeping that at the forefront as well.
Right, right. And that goes with like alignment over aesthetics, right? And that's one of the things that I'm doing more of, like alignment over aesthetics. So not
Yeah,
trying to make it look all glitz and glamour, like Donna said, being raw and authentic. So aesthetics matters, but alignment converts. So just always remember that aesthetics
yeah,
matters because we want to be putting out quality content and quality messaging, but alignment converts. But also know that when your life values and a message aligns, that your
mm-hmm.
brand feels effortless. It doesn't feel like you're forcing it. It doesn't feel like you have to get up and try to show up and be seen every day. It's like, this is what I'm doing. This is who I am. So it's going to come to you effortlessly. And one of the reminders that we want to leave you guys here with is people don't connect to perfection, they connect to the truth and authentic people. Okay. So as long as you're being truthful, as long as you're showing up as the person that you say you are, they're going to connect to you, right? So you don't have to be perfect. As Donna mentioned, that's one of the things I had kind of struggled with. And perfectionism has been something that has been a struggle for me for, the 34 plus years. Well, I'm not 34 plus yet, 34 years of my life.
Yeah.
So just make sure you remember that people don't connect to perfection, they connect to the truth. And then lastly, embodiment over performance. Lastly, embodiment over performance. Stop performing your brand. that's what we were doing. And we were like hamsters on the wheel, right? And it's like we're outrunning ourselves, outpacing ourselves, burning ourselves out. So stop performing your brand. Just start living it. Just start living it. And that's one of
Yeah.
the things that I'm doing even with my content creation is just like just showing up as my authentic self, how I show up on a day. Like this is my life. This is what I'm
Hmm.
navigating. This is what I'm going through. And I want to take you guys on the journey with me. That allows people to really just show you, like we said, again, just that you're raw and authentic. And then Donna's going to go more into your personal story. But one of the things that I want to share, Donna, you're going to share your personal story, but I kind of gave you guys some of the insight of my personal story. But one of the things that I'm doing, even too, when it comes to my messaging and content creation outside of consulting, is sharing the fact that I'm reclaiming my identity over the past of the past 3 years. You guys have been along the journey with us. If you are new to who me and Donna are, we have to fill you in and give you some
Yeah.
insight into that journey. But the past 3 years has been a lot of pivoting from grief to restructuring business to moving to downsizing to
Yeah.
financial woes to financial comebacks. So there's just been a lot of different things that has been moving parts in our lives. And being able to share those personal stories will actually show where we were, right?
Yeah.
Or where you are and where you are going to. It shows the shift that you've had, and it allows you to um share how your brand has changed, how your clients has changed, how your confidence has changed. So
Mhm.
even through my personal journey of just experiencing burnout, I've been in burnout for a whole year, guys. Okay. That has taken a major hit on confidence. Okay. I'm just like, hold up, what's happening here? Like, so
Yeah.
for me, that's what I'm knowing, learning. Okay, Dwayne, we not as aligned. We're in a misalignment here
Yeah.
because that's not you, sweetie. So and I haven't always been as confident, right? Because there was times when I was younger to where I was shy, right? So because
Very
life
shy. She was very
has
shy.
triggered traumas, right?
Yes.
Because life has triggered traumas, it take me back to that little girl that I've grown from. So we're that's how I know I'm in misalignment. That's how I know I need to get out of that, right? Um, so over the past couple of years, that's I'm gonna go ahead and share your personal story.
Yeah. So for me, like how I knew I was out of misalignment was like I felt like I was carrying the weight of the world like literally on my shoulders. Like the heaviness of life really started to catch up to me. And I guess welcoming my and I shared this in the last summit, welcoming my second son was very eye-opening for me because moms, like I take my hats off to you. Single mom, like if I could take this hat off, I would, but I'm not. Okay, I really take the hat off for you. But just being a mom to one, but then once you go from that one to that two, baby, it is not for the weak. Okay. And for me, once I transitioned to having my second child, like that pregnancy was very high risk. I ended up getting gestational diabetes, which was very devastating for me. And excuse me, I got the little one here back here to my coworker, so you might hear him chiming in. But um, that was a very tough pregnancy because I pretty much my husband, like I said, my husband was on the road at the time, gone for weeks. So I pretty much went through a lot of that pregnancy by myself. And then once my son actually got here, it was just in the I kind of skipped. So in the realm of being pregnant, high risk pregnancy, trying to grow a business, like I some days I just wanted to give up on the business. It's like I just need I'm so tired. I'm picking up my son from pre-K, dropping him off, packing lunch, going to doing all these things. And it was like having gestational diabetes, I was like very drained, very extremely fatigued. Like, and if you are here, you're a mom and you've been pregnant, you know that fatigue in pregnancy, how it comes. But if you've ever had a high risk pregnancy, you can really feel what I'm saying. So with that, it was like, okay, I don't know if I can do this. Thankfully, me and Dwayna, we've been in business since we started TG consulting, and she was like, well, yeah, no, you get rest because you need it. And not only that, like prior to me having Josiah, which he's my rainbow baby. So I shortly before that, I had a miscarriage, right? And that sense, I didn't even know that I was pregnant. That's how like running on like the Energizer Bunny that I was going. Like I was not even paying attention to my body, right? So that's that. So it was like she was like, well, no, we don't want nothing to happen to my nephew. Get your rest. I'm gonna hold it down, right? She held it down as much as she could because she had a newborn infant as well. Like our sons are 10 months apart. Okay. So that was that. Right. And as I was navigating, welcoming the second, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to take maternity leave for this amount. And then I'm going to go ahead and get back into business with you. Our grandmother gets sick. Right. Our grandmother gets sick. She's in the hospital. She thinking she had the flu. Turns out she had leukemia. A couple months later, she passes. Okay. And it was like so much stuff happening back to back that I realized I was like, okay, that it was that I was having issues in my marriage, you know, having children and bringing children into, you know, unions and things. That's when the devil really tries to get you, right? And it was just like, I just really wanted to give up on everything. Like I just lost my grandma, me and my grandmother was like this, okay. Lost her, had to help my mom plan a funeral, have this infant baby, I'm trying to navigate I'm trying to navigate marriage, I still got a 5-year old who's about to turn. It was like a lot going on. I was like, Dwayna, eventually I was like, Dwayna, I don't know if I can do this business anymore. I was like, I just don't know. I felt like I was being pulled in so many different directions. And like I said, like I felt like I just had the weight of the world on my shoulders. That's when I really knew I was out of misalignment. Like God was not at the center of really anything that I was doing, right? I wasn't praying. I would pray every night, but it wasn't like intentional prayer. It wasn't intentional time with God. Like, and I felt myself really only going to him when I really felt like I couldn't take it anymore. And it's like, girl, no, you need to be praising him and going to him on the greatest days, even on your lowest. So that's when I knew I was out of misalignment. I was overthinking, what should I do? Should I stay in this business? Should I stay in this marriage? Should I stay? Overthinking and everything, right? And I really had to sit back and be like, okay, God, like what do you have in store for me? What is your will? And at the midst of that as well, um, was trying to figure out what my next move was, as my husband wanted to move to Texas, right? And it was like, well, we're not going to go because we're not in alignment. And it's like, I had to really sit back. And as I sat back and let God lead me, he led me to fight for my marriage. He led me to literally, our lease was up. I literally sold 75%, not even just sold or gave away 75% of the things that we owned. Literally gave it up and was like, okay, God, if this is in your will, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you, right? And literally, I had to surrender, and I'm still in the season of like learning how to fully surrender. I feel like just recently, I feel like completely like light, right? Because I feel like I fully surrendered, and now I've been in Texas for 7 months, like half a year, over half a year. I'm here learning so much, continuing to grow. Um, I took a mastermind. I've been in therapy ever since I had Josiah weekly. So that has helped me shift internally and just really like putting myself first too, because I also realized too that I was overperforming for everyone else. And I wasn't overperforming for myself. So that's something that I had to realize as well. And I'm slowly getting to the point to where like I'm, you know, becoming confident again in posting and things, because I stopped posting on social media. So yeah, that's just a glimpse of my personal story and how I got to where I am today.
Yeah, so let's leave you with some practical things that you can do today or answer to figure out if you're in misalignment or where you're at in your journey of entrepreneurship. So prompt one, where in your brand are you performing instead of being? Ask yourself,
Mhm.
where in your brand are you performing instead of being? Okay. If you want to respond back to the email and let us know if you want to add a comment underneath the video of the summit and let us know, go ahead and let us know that the next one is what truth has been holding you back that could actually be your message. Okay. So I know we don't want to share we don't want to overshare, right? That's
Mhm.
something that God has placed into my heart. Like, know what you're when you're oversharing versus like sharing lessons and actually the testimony. So, ask yourself what truths have you been holding back that could actually be your message, because there are truths that God wants us to share, right? There are testimonies that God wants us to share. If the lesson learned was just meant for us and for us to not share with somebody else, like, are we doing ourselves a disservice, not only God but ourselves, because we are put here to impact people, to share our testimonies, to share stories, to connect. Okay. And then the last prompt is, who do you need to become for your brand to feel natural, not forced, not like you don't feel like getting up and working this brand and business, but who do you need to become for you to feel like that your brand is natural? And then Donna's going to give you guys some rapid fire reflections that you guys can go ahead and answer to. So make sure that you take a pause and really think about some of the things and the questions that we're asking you as we're sharing some of this insight for you to gather and better understand where you are in your journey.
Yeah. So okay. So ask yourself these. This is going to be interactive. So I want you to do this while you're watching on this session today. Does your content sound like you in real life? Okay. If you don't know, go back and look at your feed. Right. Look at your captions. Look at your feed. Look how people's engaging with it. Ask yourself that. Are you building a brand or hiding behind one? Okay. Is the are you building the brand or is the brand building you? Ask yourself. Okay. Who would people recognize you offline the same way they see you online? That's important because a lot of people out here be catfishing. Okay, the AI is getting out of control.
Mm-hmm.
The it's right. So be who you is. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Who you?
some really
Yes.
great.
As we close this out, as we close this session out, remember that your message becomes powerful when you become it first. Your message becomes powerful when you become it first. So we encourage you to you don't need to reinvent your brand. Okay. You don't need to reinvent your brand. You just need to reconnect with yourself, reconnect with yourself. Okay. And we invite you to follow the journey, follow our journeys. If you're not following our personal social media accounts, please follow. If you're following Mommy Hustle, our podcast, go ahead and follow that, because we share a lot of our motherhood journey through shared content on that platform. Join our community on social media. Follow us on Threads. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We do have a YouTube channel. Make sure you follow us and stay connected for deeper work. And we are up to some great, as we mentioned, we are pivoting and changing some things around. So we are up to a lot of different changes within the business. So as we are doing that, we will be sharing insight with you around our new brand name and our email communication and things. So again, stay tuned and follow our journey, because we're going to take you along the ride.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. This
And
resonates.
then if this resonated with you, it's because there's a version of you, okay, a version of you ready to be seen, a version of you ready to be seen. And we love to support you and moving forward in that process. If you are ready to be seen, we are here to help you to create visibility, to provide you with image consulting, to provide you with strategies, to provide you with a way to create and increase your momentum and visibility. Okay, so go ahead and again, be prepared and be ready for a lot of the amazing conversations that we have. And we look forward
Yeah.
to hearing your insight. And thank you again for joining us.
See you, ladies.